Yeah, I know actually the meaning of this word is to stop car to travel in somewhere to go somewhere, and then to stop and want right to go where you want to go without money or like that, just free
Yeah,
or share. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Very good. So, Bilal, have you ever tried hitchhiking, or would you ever try hitchhiking? And do you think it's
I tried when we were child. Yeah, when we go to the middle school, and then our school is a little bit far from the village, so we need some time to make hitchhiking, and so I did many times, and we we want the ride to to school.
okay? Very good. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? Would you take a person hitchhiking?
Yeah, sometime, but really these days become a little bit difficult to take the stranger to take the stranger. Yeah, in this time but when we see and then we decide that yeah, it is a good person like that, then we take this person, but little bit is kind of the first day we check the person that give the want right. The first we check, and if it is we just trust him like that, we take. Really, it's not easy in these days. Kind of some crime like that, it's
Okay, very
not
good.
difficult. That's it.
Do you have any interesting stories from hitchhiking?
Uh, yeah, sometimes. Yeah, if it is a few years ago that I saw a nice. I saw a boy that on the road, and then he requested he want hitchhiking. Then he wanted me to take him, and then I stop it, and then I give a ride, uh, and then just but then he told me about his story, and then I think he needed a little bit of money or like that, and then but he just not directly want the money, but just like a little bit, you know, just want to touch my emotion like that, just uh, because we a little bit sad story about himself. He tell sad story about himself, and then uh, I did. Just he said he need some little bit money that he want to make he want to sell something because he need really money, and then he has in a bad situation like that, and just but really I didn't give, because I didn't trust him if it is really is a true story or like that, and I just where I found the place that, and I said really I need to go somewhere else, and then I get him out. I said him that you can get out from there. Just the story, and
Okay, very good. Thank
I
you,
had
Bilal.
it.
Yeah. One time when I was very small in Canada, I was hitchhiking and there was no cars stopping for me. And I saw this company, Purelator. I don't know if you have this company. They're like FedEx. They're the same as FedEx. You have FedEx, right? Yeah. And so, anyways, I went like this, and the driver, he's like, "You can't drive with me. I'm at work, right?" But then 10 minutes later, he went into a house and came back, and he picked us up. So me and my friend, we were sitting on the shelves with the boxes in the back, all all the cargo boxes bouncing down the road. That was, I think, the most interesting hitchhiking vehicle I got. How about Mehmet? Have you ever been hitchhiking?
Hitchhiking, yeah, actually not for a long trip. When I was in university, yeah, there was this area that you can go for shopping and fast food, something like that, from Kütahya to Afyon. I remember we just did it for maybe 90 kilometers, not more than that, not a very long distance. But we did it maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times. I don't remember, but in university,
Oh,
while I was in university.
okay. Did you ever take someone, a hitchhiker, in your car?
Yeah, I remember. I remember I did it, but I can't remember exactly when. There have been times that I stopped for the ones that hitchhiked me. I don't know why I was on a business I was on the road for work, or I don't remember even I don't remember where I was going and when. I don't remember, but yeah, a couple of times I also did stop.
Ah, okay. Do you have any interesting stories from hitchhiking?
No,
No, not really.
not really.
Okay. No problem. And Hershit, what about you? Is it something you've done, hitchhiking?
Yeah. When I was a student at middle school, we always was hiking with my friends, and for me it was a very funny thing, and we enjoy hiking, doing hiking, and
Hitchhiking.
hitchhiking. Sorry, and only at middle school we do it. But someday when I drive in a road, I see a person in daytime. I always take he or she in my car,
Okay, so you take lots of people. And do you have
and I know that more we have got a technology. It is a new type of hijacking, and we all know that BlaBlaCar, I think, it's a very like doing with hijacking, I think.
hitchhiking?
And
Yeah.
yeah, one day when I came from Istanbul to Ankara, I used a BlaBlaCar, but I met a BlaBlaCar user one street, and but these people hadn't got a driving license, and I shocked, but I continued with coming there.
Okay. Thank you, Hershit. Very cool.
Yeah.
And Yildiray, welcome.
Hello, Jory.
Hello.
And friends.
Did you have a nice weekend, Yildiray?
Yes.
Okay. Good, good. We're talking about hitchhiking. Do you know what hitchhiking is?
Yes, I know a little bit.
Okay.
Uh,
Have you ever gone hitchhiking? Did you go hitchhiking before, Yildiray?
no, I didn't try before.
Okay.
I take.
Would you try? Are you scared to try, or would you try?
No, I think maybe in Turkey, I think it is dangerous because if you know, if you don't know people before, maybe it can be dangerous
Yes.
for me. I
Okay.
think.
Do you think it's dangerous everywhere, or it's very dangerous in Turkey? Would you try hitchhiking maybe in Europe?
Maybe Ankara or Istanbul.
Ah, okay. If different cities, maybe it's okay. Okay, yeah, very good. I was hitchhiking in Turkey quite a bit, actually. I went from Ankara to Istanbul and Istanbul to Ankara many times. I didn't have money for the bus or even the BlaBlaCar. One time I went to Eskişehir. But I went with my girlfriend, who you guys have seen. And she always had to talk to them in Turkish because my Turkish is very bad. And one time we were stopped at the gas station to buy petrol, and she went to the bathroom. And the driver is saying to me, like, I can understand what he's trying to say. He's like, let's go and leave her. She's in the bathroom, you and me, let's drive away, right? And I'm like, no, I don't want to. He's like, yes, let's do it, yes? And I'm like, no. And then he starts driving the car. And I grabbed my backpack off the ground, and I was like pulling the door open of the car to jump out. And he just stops the car and starts laughing at me. This was just a joke he was playing on me. But I almost jumped out of the car this time. That was very funny. And I didn't
Wow.
sleep the night before. I was so tired too. I was trying not to sleep, and this guy thought this was funny. That was interesting, I think. But I think that it's good what Yildiray said. Many people think that hitchhiking is very dangerous, which is actually why I picked safety and crime as the topic we're going to be talking about today, because in Canada, many people are scared of hitchhiking. You can still do it. I've done it in Canada, but I think it's much more common in Turkey. And many people are scared of picking up hitchhikers and of hitchhiking. Both. People are scared to get in the car and to let someone else come in your car. There was one serial killer. I don't know if you guys know the word serial killer, but
Yeah.
cereal is something you eat for breakfast, spelled with a C. Spelled with an S, it means in a row, a series, right? So serial killer, killing many people in a row. So yeah, the famous ones are like Jack the Ripper and Ted Bundy and things. But we had one in Canada. He was very bad, and this is how he killed people. He picked up hitchhikers to kill them. So I think this is the reason people are very scared of hitchhiking in Canada. So I think, yeah, Yildiray is very concerned about the safety, and you guys, the other three, I think you're aware that it can be dangerous, but it's not the most dangerous thing you can do, maybe. That's how I feel too. You have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so I got a couple of English phrases. They're like, what would you call it? They're really common phrases. They're not really idioms, but they're two-word like 2-word nouns. And I'm going to see if anybody knows what they mean or wants to take a guess related to safety here. So the first one is called safety measures. Mehmet, I think you know what this means?
Of course, the safety measures. Can it be synonym with precautions?
Yep. Yeah, I would say that that's a fair, a good.
Yeah. So you, in case you face with emergency, you face with danger, you have to take safety measures. So in every case that you there's a probability of dangerous situation, you just take precautions for your own safety.
Good. Yeah, exactly. They're things that we're doing right now to make sure we don't have a safety problem later. Right. Exactly. Like, for example, I can buy a fire extinguisher. That's a good safety measure. Then if there's a fire later, I have done something now to be ready for that. Exactly. What about a safety concern? How about Hurshit? What does that mean?
Safety concern. Julie, I don't understand, but I talk about it.
What do you think safety concern means? Do you know what concern means?
Concern, feeling,
Feeling.
warning.
Yeah. Okay. So what's a safety concern? What do you think maybe it means?
Güvenlik endişesi. Maybe when you feel that happening is worse, you feel concerned about safety.
Okay, that's a really good guess. Exactly. Generally, we use it a little bit differently. Does anyone know safety concerns?
Safety concern?
Yeah.
You just when you are alarmed that your safety is there could be something that violates your safety, then it's safety concern.
Good, yeah.
Isn't?
Exactly. Yeah, we usually use it more like more industrial, more like companies and things, like how Mehmet was describing the last one. Sorry.
Ses gitti galiba.
Aynen.
Arkadaşlar. Güvenlik endişesini soruyor ama yani pek söylenecek de bir şey yok gibi geldi ya. Yani yan açıklayabilir misin?
Açıklaması zor.
Dur.
The thing won't happen again with the email. Okay, thank you. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi,
Johnny?
okay, sorry.
I don't hear you, Jory.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. No.
No.
Now, Jory, I see you are talking, but we are not hearing you. Evet.
Diyor musunuz?
Evet,
Şu an iyi.
Şu anda geldi öyle mi?
şu anda geldi.
Bye bye.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, okay. What about this one? What is the difference between public safety and personal safety? I'm gonna ask Bilal. You can hear me, yes?
Yeah, so something really is dangerous for for the public. Yeah, you know, the public. For example, the drinking water. We are drinking water, and this is something dangerous for the air pollution or the polluting of the water or like that. This related with public safety, health or like that. But with personal safety in the construction works or like that, you need to take some measurement precaution for the safety or person or like that. And just different, probably
Okay.
related to the public and the person safety related to
Awesome, good. Exactly.
personal itself.
Yeah, personal safety, something like I wear a hard hat, right? It's just for me.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, and Yildiray, what do you think safety glass is?
Safety
Safety glass.
glass.
Yeah.
I don't understand second verse.
Glass. Like glass?
Glass.
The
Safety
glass.
glass.
Oh, safety glasses. No, not
Glass.
glasses. Not glasses, just glass.
Safety glass. I have no opinion about safety glass.
No guess?
No idea.
Okay. Anyone know what safety glass?
I know in the
Actually,
construction, of course, we have these glasses for the welding when you do during the welding or like that, you wear this glass for your eyes protection precaution.
No.
Good. Yeah,
glasses.
that's safety glasses, but this is safety glass. Mehmet, do you know what safety glass is?
no, actually, I was gonna say about what Bilal was said. It's also safety glass, but no, safety glass.
Okay.
Maybe glass for the glass
So
of the
I
window.
think, yeah, when there, for example, are you talking about the glass when there's a bullet? So you, for example, shoot a bullet, but it doesn't cross the other side of the glass. Are you talking about something like that?
Yeah, for like that's even stronger. That's bulletproof glass.
Yeah,
Actually,
bulletproof glass.
yeah. Usually when we say safety glass, it's like the front window of your car. It won't
Yeah.
break into many small pieces. It will stay as one big piece when it breaks, so that all the small pieces of glass don't cut you. That's safety glass. So yeah, I think most of these were pretty easy, but I still managed to trick you guys with one of them. Yeah, that's what we call safety glass. I think that now maybe we can start looking at the conversation for a couple minutes. It's hitchhiking in Europe today. Okay. Oh, there's no Kristen, so I won't make Hershit be Kristen to start.
No.
Hershit, why don't you be Joe for let's do
Yeah,
5, and Bilal, you can be David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zainab,
I'm
welcome.
starting.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm starting. Hey, I ran into John today, and he's gonna actually be doing some traveling in Europe. He says he's gonna spend a lot of time in Prague.
Oh, Prague's awesome. Oh, did I tell you I live there?
No, get out of here. You never told me that.
Yeah, I lived in Prague about 15 years ago.
Oh, what were you doing there?
Well, I was traveling. I didn't actually know that I would end up in Prague. I was just gonna do whatever come along.
Wait, where would you start out traveling?
I get one-way ticket to Amsterdam,
Oh, nice.
and one of the only people that I knew in Europe was this chick that I used to go out with. So I figured I'd look her up. I knew she had another boyfriend at that point, but she said she could get me a place to stay, and then she was in Prague. So I figured I'd go there for a few weeks and see how it went.
Good. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see from the top. Joe says, "Hey, I ran into John today." I think we talked about ran into in the last conversation as well. Meet someone unexpectedly. And he's gonna actually be doing some travel in Europe. Okay. Zainab, what does this mean, gonna? Gonna.
Gun. Wait, what? I couldn't hear.
We're at the top of hitchhiking in Europe conversation. The very first
You're
sentence.
gonna. He's gonna. I know it, but I really don't know how to tell it. It's simple, but I worked a lot, but I can't explain it now.
Okay. I think that we talked about this in the conversation when you weren't here. That's why I picked you. Who can tell us what gonna means? Bilal?
Going to, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to actually.
Gonna is just going to crush together. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. And anyways, yeah, it's hard when I put you on the spot, right? And he's
This is
going to
really
spend a lot of time in Prague. Yildiray, where is Prague?
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. You went to the Czech Republic, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes. Did you go to Prague?
Yes.
Yes.
There.
You lived there? For how long?
3 years ago.
3 years ago you visited, right? Yes. Good. Okay. And then Joe says no. Sorry. Going to be doing subtract, and he's going to spend a lot of time in Prague. Prague's awesome. Did I tell you I lived there? No. Get out of here. You never told me that. Okay. What does Joe mean by this? Get out of here. Is he telling David to leave the room? What does that mean? How about Biro?
It means I don't believe. I don't
Perfect.
believe. I can't believe.
Yeah, get out of here. You can say get out of town. It's like I'm very surprised. It seems like you're joking. Good. Very good. You never told me that. Yeah, I lived in Prague 15 years ago. What were you doing there? Okay, let's see. While I was traveling, I didn't actually know that I would end up in Prague. Okay, so I think this isn't too difficult, but David is saying that he was traveling many places and he didn't plan to stop traveling in Prague. He didn't even plan to visit Prague, it sounds like. Yeah. I didn't know that I would end up in Prague. It can mean I didn't know that I would stop traveling there, that I would start spending so much time there, or it didn't know that I would go there at all. It can mean both, right? I was just going to do whatever came along. What does this mean, Bilal? Do whatever came along.
He didn't have any plan, just wait what coincide, what he find, what is on the road, but no any plan. Just want to see, without any planning or like that.
Exactly, yeah. Just follow where life takes you, no plan. Perfect. Good, and then Joe says, wait, where'd you start out traveling? So what was the first city you started your travels in? I got a one-way ticket to Amsterdam. Where is Amsterdam?
Yeah, Holland, in Holland.
Holland, yeah.
Yeah.
I think best friends with Turkey right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe says, oh, nice, David. And one of the only people that I knew in Europe was this chick that I used to go out with. Okay. Mehmet, what is a chick? Do you know?
As a chick that girl.
A girl. Do you know what the actual word means? This is, yeah, exactly what it means here, and that's how many people use it. A chick is actually a baby chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's where this comes from, the little yellow baby chickens. Right? Used to go out with means that I used to date, right? So I figured I'd look her up. What does this mean, look her up? Zainab, do you know what this means? If you look
No.
someone up?
No, I have no idea.
No? Okay.
No.
Who wants to try this one? Biro?
I figured I would visit her. I would visit her.
Good, yeah, visits, that's a good answer. It just means contact. though.
Contact.
Yeah,
Contact.
like I need to find her. So I find her phone number, I find her email, I find some way to get in contact with her. Yeah. So I could visit her. That's right, Biral. That's a good example. But it can mean any way I contact her.
Yes.
I knew she had another boyfriend at that point. Okay, I think this sentence could be a little bit confusing, actually. I knew she had another boyfriend at that point. It doesn't mean I knew she had one boyfriend plus a second one. It means that he was her boyfriend in the past, and he knows she has a different one now. When you start to read this, it sounds very strange, but yeah, that's what he's saying. But she said she could get me a place to stay, and she was in Prague. So yeah, she lives in Prague, and she offers him a place to stay, maybe her house or something. So I figured I'd go there for a few weeks and see how it went. Okay. So here, it's kind of interesting. He says, so I figured, so that put it in the past tense. I would go, so now we've gone into the future from the past tense for a few weeks and see how it went. So yeah, he's talking about the point in the past and what was in the future at that point in the past. Okay, so the first past tense, that establishes the timeline, and then he has to use future tense because he's already talking in the past. Okay, let's see, Joe and David. Why don't we have Harshit and Gila? Okay, let's have Yildira, you can be Joe, and Mehmet, you can be David. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, do another 5, please.
Mhm. She was from Prague, or?
No, she was American, but she was over there teaching English.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
So wait, how long did you spend in Amsterdam?
I only spent about 4 days in Amsterdam before I got kind of sick of it.
You were just basically like traveling to Raw.
Yeah, and then I started teaching
Oh, nice, nice.
and kind of hooked up with some English chicks and just kind of spent a little bit of time with them on the road, and then eventually ended up on a train late at night and didn't have any money but pretended I didn't understand what anyone was saying and ended up in Prague.
Okay, good. So let's stop right there. This first sentence, Joe says she was from Prague. And yeah, in English, right, when we don't have that little m that we can put on the end of everything we want, like Turkish, right? So when you want to make a sentence like this a question, you really have to make sure to change the tone. She was from Prague? Yeah, the little bouncy tone to make it a question. Yeah. So maybe that's a little bit difficult to get that one perfect. But you can also just put your eyebrows like this, and it should work. No, she was American, but she was over there teaching English. Okay, so kind of like me. Oh, nice, yeah. So wait, how long did you spend in Amsterdam? I only spent about 4 days in Amsterdam before I got kind of sick of it. So how about Birol? What does David mean he was sick of it?
Sick of whipped, fed up with it. Fed
Okay.
up with.
Very good. Yeah, exactly. Fed up and sick of it mean exactly the same things, but I don't know that fed up is any easier. Yeah. Good. They mean he was bored bored of this place. He was not interested anymore. Or it could also mean that this place is actually making me upset. Like I'm not just bored, I'm unhappy in this place. Okay. So you were just basically like traveling through. So yeah, traveling through would be like basically you're just traveling without really stopping somewhere. Okay. Like I'm from Canada and I want to see Mexico and I'm just traveling through the States. My trip is actually to Mexico. The States is just in the way, like that. I'll spend a little bit of time, but not too much. That's not my trip. Okay. Yeah, and then I started hitching. So how about Zainab? What does this mean, hitching?
Hitching. I need to think about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yildiray, what do you think?
I think traveling, free rides in a car, but you don't know people in car. Hitching.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it means hitchhiking. It's just short for hitchhiking. Exactly. Yeah, that's what hitchhiking is. We were talking about that earlier before you came. Exactly, right? Yeah, hitching is just short for hitchhiking. Joe says, oh, nice, and kind of hook up with some English chicks and just spend a little time on the road. Okay. Mehmet, what do you think this means here, that he hooked up with these people?
Spent a little bit of time with them on the road. I hooked up with some, spending time together, killing time together.
Good. Yeah, that's good. What hooked up actually means is like you just you met someone. Usually you just met a stranger and you start spending time with them. Yeah, just like this. All of a sudden we met and we're spending time together very, very quickly like that.
Joining.
Yeah. Be careful if you use this one, hooked up, because it can also often mean something a little bit more specific that you're doing with someone. I would advise you be careful if you're going to use this idiom. Okay. And spend a little bit of time with them on the road. So I think we talked about this quite a bit. On the road means traveling. Okay. And then eventually ended up on a train late at night and didn't have any money, but pretended I didn't understand what anyone was saying and ended up in Prague. So it sounds like David was on the train and they didn't speak English on the train and he was pretending not to speak Czech so that he didn't have to pay them, I think. Okay, and now we'll keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zainab, you can be Joe, and Biral, you can be David. And let's do 5.
Okay. Wait, when you first took off, I'm from the USA. Were you actually traveling alone?
Totally by myself.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is funny looking back. I didn't have anything with me, you know.
Yeah, you could just like basically take off on a whim.
I had like one pair of shoes and no health insurance, and I was just living large.
That's nice. And you know what? Now you will probably look back and think that you were totally broke, and that's now that you have kids, that would be a very difficult thing to think of.
If I had to be responsible for them, it would be difficult. But you know, I was only responsible for me, and a kind of I was in the mood to feel anonymous. I want to go where no one recognize me.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, really good. Anonymous. You got it almost perfect. Anonymous. Great.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Yeah. So Joe says, wait, when you first took off, what does this mean, took off? How about Bilal?
Where you
Took off mean start to like take off the plane take off, start to a journey or like that. Take off
Yes.
for a journey, start a journey.
Yeah, exactly. The plane takes off, rocket ships take off. Yeah, but take off just means leave.
Leave, yeah,
You're
leave.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of an idiom from airplanes. Like you're saying the person took off just like an airplane. It means like leave
Yeah.
very quickly, kind of. Good. Awesome. Were you actually traveling alone? Totally by myself? There's really no difference between totally by myself and by myself. I don't think you could be partially by yourself, but he's making it clear he wasn't. Joe says, oh, sweet. Like, oh, that's very cool. That's very interesting. Yep. Nice. It's funny looking back. I didn't have anything with me, you know? It's funny, like it's interesting to look back because it was so different from my life now. It's funny tends to mean like it's interesting when we say it like this. It's not actually something he's gonna laugh about that he thinks is funny. It more means it's interesting. Joe says, yeah, you could just like basically take off on a whim. So I'm gonna ask Mehmet, what does this mean, on a whim?
Take off on a whim. You just when you take off on a whim, I think it's you do it without thinking the consequences of what you do.
Good. Yeah, I think that's a really great. Yeah, on a whim. Exactly. It means this idea pops in my head. Oh, I want to go to Japan right now. That's a whim. I just follow that. I don't have to make lots of plans and think about it. As soon as I have the idea, I do it. I do it on a whim. Great. If a person is whimsical, we can say it with this spelling, whimsical. It would be an adjective, and it means that this person is very funny because of how they're acting. So maybe a long time ago, I think it meant they act like this. They don't think about anything very much. But yeah, now it just means this person is funny, the way they act. Like when I watch them, I think they're funny. Not the words they say, but what they're doing. Whimsical. Okay. Then David says, I had like one pair of shoes and no health insurance, and I was just living large. Khurshid, what do you think this means, living large?
Big life, I think, living large.
Yeah, awesome. Big life. I think that's good. Yeah. Usually, often it means if you're living large, you're living how a person does when they have lots of money. Like maybe we could say this about Donald Trump is living large because he has so much money. But here it just means like living a really great life, like living life in a very amazing way. Because this man maybe didn't have so much money, but he was living his life in this really great way. So that's what that means. And then Joe says, that's nice. And you know what? Now you would probably look back and think that you were totally broke. What does this mean, totally broke? Zainab?
Broke. Broke means
And you know,
totally broke. You're broke means you're upset about something and I can't tell. I know what it means, but I can't tell it right now.
Okay. Being broke is not being upset. Broke can be the past form of break. Today I break the cup. Yesterday I broke the cup. But here it means something different. Maybe
no money.
Yeah, Yildiray.
Maybe.
Totally. Good. Yeah, if you're broke, you have no money. Exactly. So totally broke, I have very, very little money. And that now that you have kids, that would be a difficult thing to think of. So he's saying that he's thinking about his life right now. And he has kids and he has a family. And if he tries to think about his life before, and he thinks about how he had no money, and this is very strange for him now. Joe today thinks Joe back then is so different from him. It's strange for him to think that's the same person as he is today with his children. That's what he's saying right now. My life now is so different from that. It feels like it's a different person. Okay, so that's what these two sentences here mean together. And then David says, if I had to be responsible for them, it would be difficult. But you know, I was only responsible for me. Sorry, that's nice. Yeah, Joe was saying to David, sorry, that when you're thinking about your life now and your life back then. Yeah, if I had to be responsible for them, it would be difficult, but I was only responsible for me. What does this mean, responsible for? Maybe, whose turn? How about Mehmet? What is responsible for?
Responsible means I can't find the synonym, or when you are responsible for someone, you no, I just can't explain now. I fully know what it means, but just I couldn't explain now.
Yeah, no problem. It's difficult, of course. Does anyone want to try?
Yeah, I can say something about this. You know, when you're responsible for someone, you need to look after them. Like you're responsible for your children or kids. You need to take the money. You need to make them sleep or like that. You're responsible for everything for them. That's mean. You need to look after someone.
You need to provide.
This is a responsibility. As it is a responsibility of.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly, Bilal. And that's perfect. You can say you're responsible for your children. Maybe you're responsible for your wife, and maybe your wife is responsible for you too. You both have to take care of each other, but you're not responsible for your brother. Your brother has his own life, his own family. He doesn't need you to help him always. Perfect. Good example. Bilal, exactly. It would be difficult. I was only responsible for me, and I was in the mood to feel anonymous. Okay, what does this mean, anonymous? Maybe Harshit this time.
Not having any name.
Good. Yeah, if you're anonymous, you don't have a name. If you feel anonymous, I mean, you can feel anonymous. You can still be Harshit and feel anonymous. It just means nobody around knows who you are. So if you get on an airplane today and you land in Tokyo, you can walk down the street and feel anonymous because nobody knows who you are in Tokyo.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Anonymous, no name, no identity, right? No information about this person. Good. What about this in the mood to? What does it mean to be in the mood to do something or in the mood for something? How about Bilal?
Yeah, in the mood related to your psychology, you know, if you are in a good mood, you're in a bad mood, little bit your psychology, what you feel at that time. And then if you go in the mood too, you mean in the mood to doing something good, something bad, or like that? This is related to your psychology of this time.
Good. Yeah. If you're in the mood for something, that means you just want that at that time, right? I don't always like ice cream, but today I'm in the mood for ice cream. Just at right now, I feel like I want that, kind of. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to go where no one recognized me. What does this mean, recognize someone? How about Biro?
Recognize me? No. No one knows me. No one knew me.
Good. Yeah, I think that's really good. I see your face and I know who you are. I recognized you.
Mhm.
Exactly. Great. Okay. I think maybe instead of reading the next section, we will take our break now for 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
and I'll see you guys after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Yuri.
Hello, Hurshit.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, good. You can hear me okay. Great. And Zainab's here too.
Hi.
Zainab, how are you? How was your weekend?
Very tired, actually.
Yeah, why is that?
Yeah, because I had to go to hospital and then I got to a special lesson. Then I went theater course and I need to do my homework, so I slept very late time, so it was very tired.
Why did you have to go to the hospital?
Because I'm sick like 2 weeks ago and I'm still sick, so I had to go to doctor and take medicine.
Oh, I'm sorry. But you're okay now?
Nope, I'm going to go to doctor again.
Okay. But not a big problem.
Yeah, no, not a big problem. There's no big problem.
Okay, that's good. And what is the special course you're taking?
Maths, like science. I'm taking their lesson like physics and
Oh, okay, cool. Very good. That was my what I studied in university, physics and math. It's my favorite.
I like physics.
Yeah, me too. Okay, great. Thank you, Zainab. Mehmet's back. Bilal's back. Okay, I think we can get going again with this. Oh, you know what? We were talking about safety and health and safety, these kind of things earlier. And there was a really big issue with that recently in Ankara that I heard about. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Maybe Hurshit, you live in Ankara, don't you?
Yeah.
Maybe just a month or two ago, you had a very big safety issue, I feel like, in the middle of Ankara.
I understand from your sentence. You ask me if
Yeah.
I am a safety bed situation in Ankara.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When I was at university in Gazi, I have sorry, I lived in a hostel where is in now Ulus, and there was a very big explosion. There was a very big explosion near Ulus, and now this time I traveled near them, if I had this explosion place, maybe I have no life in now.
Oh, that's a very good story. Thank you, Hurshid. I was actually asking if anybody heard this story in the news about a safety problem in Ankara about a month ago when they knocked down a very large building. They knocked the building down on purpose. They made it fall down. Do you know which story this is, Hurshid? No, nobody knows.
I think you are telling about bumping.
Oh no, not a bombing. No, there was a very big building in Ankara, and they took it down, and it was filled with asbestos. Do you know asbestos?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Does anyone know this story? No.
No.
Okay. Let me try and find what asbestos is. Anyways, asbestos is something very. It's something very dangerous that they put in old concrete, and this building was filled with yanmaz. Does that sound right? Yanmaz? No? Okay. Okay, never mind. This was a big story in the world from Ankara, I think 2 months ago.
Asbest. Bu
Ha.
kodların taşlanmasında kullanılan bir şey zannediyorum. Öyle bir şey olabilir mi acaba? In the jury, it damages in the lungs.
Yeah.
Damages the lungs.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. This is true. Yeah, you have the right one. Sorry.
Okay.
But
Sorry, Mehmet.
I didn't hear any kind of stories like that 1 month ago or.
No? Oh, okay. This was big news. Our friends from O2 were talking about this. I think 250 tons of asbestos.
Oh.
Doing people cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have new reminded.
Oh, you didn't hear this story. Okay, never mind.
But Jory, we have been passing through so many bombings, so many killings, so many attacks. So maybe we could have missed.
Asbestos. That's fair.
We could have missed that news. I don't remember actually.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
I don't know.
Yes. One of these.
We are just laughing what we should have in the bad situation of us actually.
Yeah. One of the bombings in Ankara was right in front of the building I worked, the one in Guven Park.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I went home from work like 4 hours before this bombing, so I know about that, yes. But there was big news in the whole world about this asbestos too. I guess we didn't hear about that. Okay, no problem.
Jury, I have just recalled your sentence. You try to talking about a building in Sihye in Kızılay, where is doing a cancer situation, or where has got a cancer situation. Whether the municipality of Ankara damaged this building. After that, the cancer weather is
In the
emerged.
Yeah.
Emerged from other place.
Yeah.
I think your sentence is about them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
You remember this
I
story?
just remember. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, I have just remembered it.
Okay. Well, I got one. Someone heard this. Okay. We won't talk about that anymore because nobody knows about that. Why don't we go back to the conversation again? And we can start with, whose turn is it? Harshit, you can be, who are you last? You can be Joe this time. And who shall I have read with Harshit? How about Birol? Birol, you can be David.
Usually, I think we have stayed starting from Joe. Yeah, no, that sounds
Great, perfect, yeah.
okay. Okay, now I am starting.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. So that's great that you just traveled alone. A lot of people are not into doing that, you know.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal.
Yeah, some people.
You've got to kind of put yourself out there and just see what happens, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I have never traveled alone, but I'm sure I could do it, you know, because I'm good. I feel like I'm pretty good at meeting people, you know.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's fun to meet people, and other times it's fun to just truly be on your own. And, you know, you get into a situation where you realize that nobody knows where you are, and you just have this total sense freedom.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good, okay, let's stop there. Harshit, I gave you the laughing parts again somehow. I don't know. Every time. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go up to the top here. Joe says, yeah, no, that sounds great. That's great that you just traveled alone, and a lot of people are not into doing that, you know? Okay, so what does this mean if you're not into something? How about Zainab?
Don't interested in something.
Perfect, yeah, exactly. It's slang, it means not interested in, exactly. And David said, yeah, well, it's a big deal. So, how about Bilal, what does this mean if something's a big deal?
It is a big deal. It is a big event, or like that. It is a big event. It is. Yeah, it's a big happen, or like that. Big event or happen, or
It's very close. It just generally means it's important. If something's a big deal, it's very important. I can't even say it's different than the word important. I just kind of think of if you're playing cards like poker, you know, you deal the cards, and this time it's a big one. There's so much money on the table. It's a big deal, like that. That's how I remember. That's what I think of. Yeah, a big deal. It's very important. Joe says, yeah, some people. This doesn't make any sense, of course, because David cut him off. So we have 3 dots. We don't know what Joe is going to say. It's a big deal. The answer is not, yeah, some people. That's never an answer to anything. He just couldn't finish. And then David says, you've got to kind of put yourself out there and just see what happens, you know? This one, put yourself out there. Does anyone want to try and explain what this means?
Expose yourself into the nature.
Good. That's really good, actually, yeah. If you put yourself out there, it kind of means take a risk, you know? Like,
Take a risk.
yeah, like a social risk, not like I'm going to put myself out there and fight a polar bear. That's not a good example, but I'm going to put myself out there and talk to the pretty girl who I'm nervous about, or I'm going to put myself out there and talk to the crowd of people. Okay, I'm taking this social risk like that. Yeah, I think Mehmet, I really like the way you said it, expose yourself, because yeah, that's what it means. You're not being safe anymore. You're taking the risk. You're exposing yourself like that. Yeah, really good. And that one is difficult to explain, I think. Good. And just see what happens, you know? Joe says, yeah, exactly. I've never traveled alone, but I'm sure I could do it because I'm good. I feel like I'm pretty good at meeting people, you know? So he thinks that it would be easy for him to travel alone because he's very social and he can make friends quickly. He's good at meeting people. That's what he's saying. David says, yeah, well, sometimes it's fun to meet people and other times it's fun to just truly be on your own. And, you know, you get into a situation where you realize that nobody knows where you are. Okay. I've kind of been explaining what the people are talking about here, but maybe Bilal, can you tell us what David is saying in this section?
Yeah, you know, I think he just he find funny to meet new people. He find fun to meet new people, but sometimes he want to also hide himself. Just want to be alone, and then don't want to nobody know him or like that recognize him, and then so sometimes in this meet people, but sometimes want to be alone.
Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. I think you got it. Yeah, Joe is kind of saying that the good thing about traveling alone is that you're always meeting new people. And David's saying, yeah, but the other good thing is actually just being by yourself sometimes. Exactly. And that's exactly what Bilal said. I think you did a great job. Good. Joe, played by Hurshit, laughed convincingly. And then David said, and you just have this total sense of freedom. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't remember if we actually read this part. It's crazy means it's difficult to believe. Or, yeah, it's very amazing, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I think that's where we stopped. So Joe says, yeah, I can only imagine. And why don't we have Bilal, you can read as Joe there. And Mehmet, you can be David.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You took the train from Amsterdam to Prague?
No, I took the train to somewhere in Germany and then I started tumbling on the side of the road.
Oh, how long did you stay in Germany?
Like 2 days.
Oh, that wasn't long at all.
Yeah, just long enough for a couple of weird people to meet me and help me out and take me to different places.
So they actually picked you up.
Yeah, at one point I decided that I didn't really care what direction the car was going as long as it was warm and dry. I was getting in.
Yeah, at one point I decided that I didn't really care
Next
what
one.
direction. Which one? I don't know. So they actually picked out one. I have.
Wait, why don't we stop here then? That's good. Okay, back up to the top. So Joe says, yeah, I can only imagine. Like, I never did this, so the only thing I can do is use my imagination. David says, yeah. Joe says, you took the train from Amsterdam to Prague. And David says, no. I took the train to somewhere in Germany, and then I started thumbing on the side of the road. Okay. So how about Birol? What does this mean, thumbing? What do you think?
Tamin, I confused where is it?
Okay. We started with Joe saying, yeah, I can only imagine. David said, yeah. Joe said, you took the train from Amsterdam to Prague. And then David number 2. No, I took the train to somewhere in Germany, and then I started thumbing.
Tamin, hidaging.
Good, yeah. I think we're having a bit of trouble with this. Hitch, hiking.
Hitch hiding.
Yeah. Hiking means the same as trekking. I think trekking is maybe the same in Turkish. Everybody seems to know the word trekking. Yeah. So hiking is like trekking up in the mountains, or just walking. And hitching is like connecting, actually. So, yeah. The thing on the back of your car, there's a little metal ball. And if I want to pull something, it goes on top of this ball, so I can pull the trailer, the other thing behind my car. That connection is called a hitch. Okay, good. Yeah. So thumbing, exactly. Thumbing means hitchhiking because you put your thumb up. Good. Joe says, oh, how long did you stay in Germany? Like 2 days. Oh, that wasn't long at all. Yeah, just long enough for a couple of weird people to meet me and help me out and take me to different places. Good. So what does Joe mean here? So they actually picked you up. What is the meaning of this sentence? How about Zainab?
Taking from someone somewhere and bring him another place. Maybe.
Good, exactly, yeah.
I guess.
He was out hitchhiking and they said, oh, so somebody actually stopped and took you in their car, picked you up. Exactly, good. Okay, and then David says, yeah, at one point I decided that I didn't really care what direction the car was going as long as it was warm and dry. I was getting in. So what is David saying here? How about Yildiray? What is David saying here?
Getting in, get on the car for hitchhiking.
Sorry?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, David says, yeah, at one point I decided that I didn't really care what direction the car was going. As long as it was warm and dry, I was getting in. What does he mean? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Hurshit, what is David talking about here?
I think David saying that if the weather is warm or dry, he use hijacking or doing hijacking where the car is coming.
Okay, so he's only hitchhiking if the weather is warm and dry.
No,
That's what
I think, yeah. As long as it was warm and dry, I think it means if the weather is better condition. from hijacking
Okay.
on drone.
Mehmet, what do you think?
Yeah,
What
I
does David
think here David says it must be cold and damp out there in Germany, in middle of nowhere maybe. So he didn't even question whether the car is going this way or that way. Just as long as they provide a warmness, he didn't care where the car goes, so he just ride in without questioning.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good.
Can I say
Exactly.
something?
That's exactly right. We don't say provided warmness, it provided heat, right? Yeah. As long as they provided heat, he doesn't care where they're going.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. I'm going to start picking on you because you asked me to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Exactly. So David, he didn't even care. The car is going to Prague where he wants to go, or the car is going to Rome, or the car is going to Norway. He just wants to get, inside somewhere warm and dry. So Mehmet is probably right. It's probably raining outside. He just wants to get out of the rain. Good. Hershit, you wanted to say something?
No, I understand.
Oh, you're good. Okay. So let's have let's have Zainab, you can be Joe, and Yildiray, you can be David.
Okay. Wait, did you were actually did you believe that you were headed to Prague at that point, or you were just
Yeah, I was.
headed wherever?
No, I was seeing Prague, but I didn't really care if it took me a while or what.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just kind of went with the flow of what was happening.
Yeah. What did you think of Germany while you were there? Because I have never been there
Kind of hard,
either.
kind of hard, being a view. I was kind of aware of history.
Good. I was kind of aware of the history. Okay. Good. So, first of all, one time I was in Ankara and I got on, I think it's called Eskişehir Road near O2. And I started hitchhiking with my girlfriend, and we decided anywhere the car goes, that's where we're going to go. If the car is going to Kayseri, we're going to Kayseri. If the car is going to Konya, we're going to Konya. Anywhere it goes, that's going to be our vacation. So we ended up in Eskişehir from Eskişehir Road, but it was interesting. We just, wherever the car went, that's where we were going.
First time in Eskişehir?
Yeah.
Was it first time in Eskişehir?
My only time in Eskişehir, actually.
Yeah, that's a cool city. That's a good, nice city.
Yeah, I really loved it. I think it's a beautiful, nice little city there. Good, yeah. So that's how I ended up there. We were gonna go anywhere the cars take us. That's where we're gonna go. Is this the same as what David was doing here? Is my story the same as David's? I'm gonna ask Birol.
I think no. David wants to go Prague, but it is not important how. But he directed to Prague, I think.
Good, perfect, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. He's okay, I'll go to this city, and then I'll go to this city, and then I'll go to this city, but he wants to get to Prague in the end. That's the difference. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it takes him a week to get to Prague. He goes to many, many different cities, spends 2 days here, spends 3 days here, but he's still going to Prague. So yeah, Birol, you're exactly right. Good job. Okay. So up at the top, we'll go up to the top again. Joe says, wait, were you actually like, did you believe that you were headed to Prague at that point? Good. So what does this mean, headed to? If you're headed somewhere, what does headed mean? Yildiray.
Headed to, I was headed to. Start to going. Maybe.
Start to going. I think that's good. Yeah. Where I'm headed to is my destination, the place I want to go.
Target, maybe. Target.
So yeah.
Destination.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Headed to is like moving towards something. Good. So here, yeah. We're headed to Prague, or were you just, he says, yes, I was headed wherever. So this was the end of the first sentence. Did you believe that you were headed to Prague at that point, or were you just headed wherever? And David says, yeah, I was headed to Prague before it becomes an or question. So this is where it's actually a little bit important. Joe says, did you believe that you were headed to Prague at that point? And then David wants to cut in by saying yes before Joe can finish making it an or question. So he has to say one answer or the other. It's just so much quicker. He can just say, yes, I was, done. He doesn't have to say, yes, I was headed to Prague, not blah, 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 right? So that's what's happening there. David says, no, I was headed to Prague, but I didn't really care if it took me a while or what. So now he has to say no again because Joe finished the or question and gave him another choice. Good. So yeah, we talked about this. He's moving towards Prague, but he doesn't care where he has to go in the middle. Joe says, oh, that's cool. Like, that's really neat. That's good. David says, so I just kind of went with the flow of what was happening. So what does this mean? Go with the flow, went with the flow is the past tense. How about Zainab?
Wait, where were we? Okay. Sorry, I couldn't see. Where is it? Ah, yeah, I found it. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. How about Bilal?
Yeah, yeah, you know, when you put something on the water, yeah, you know, the flow of the water give one direction, but sometimes hit the core, the side of the, yeah, you know, like a river or like that. But in the end, you reach to the end. So in the here, just what will happen on the road? Yeah, you know, the flow. He wanted to go to Prague, but with the flow, not yeah, you know, without planning. Yeah, you know, something arranging something, just without arrangement. Just want to, yeah, you know, like where the water send or yeah, you know.
Yeah, no. Exactly. Bilal had a little bit of trouble, but you explained it perfectly. Exactly. It's talking about the flow of water, like a river, right? Exactly. It's like if I throw a stick in the river, it's going to go with the flow of the river. The river is going to take the stick somewhere. So what another word for the flow is the current. The flow or the current. So sometimes people can even make this longer, like stop fighting the current and go with the flow. So it's like if your life is trying to pull you somewhere, don't fight that. Just let life take you, you know? So yeah, if you go with the flow, you let life take you. Things are happening in your life, you know, your friends say, oh, we're going on a trip here. You say, okay, I'll go too. This is how life is pulling me like the river. Exactly. So I'm not making my own decisions. I'm just following whatever happens, happens. Yeah. And that's exactly what Bilal was saying. Bilal, I know that's what you were saying. Exactly. Good job. And you understood the river part, which is very important, I think. So yeah, good. So David, yeah, so I just kind of went with the flow. And Joe says, yeah, what did you think of Germany while you were there? Because I've never been there. David says, kind of weird. Joe, I've never been there either, he's saying. David, kind of weird, being a Jew. Okay. What does this mean? Why was Germany kind of weird for David? How about Mehmet? What's happening in this part of the conversation?
Because of the Holocaust, because of the Nazi ethnicity. What is
Ethnic
Holocaust
cleansing.
enough?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ethnic cleansing. Yeah, exactly. So the Jewish people look through Germany with another aspect of view. So I think here, who is that? David is talking about this.
Perfect. Exactly. Yes. David's religion is the one that the Nazis were committing the Holocaust against. Exactly right, Mehmet. So many people who were Jewish were killed in Germany. And David says here at the end, after Joe laughs, David says, I was kind of aware of the history. Not just I was kind of aware of history or German history. The history is very specific. That's why we use the definite article. And he's talking about the Holocaust. That's what he means, the history. That's why he put the in there. Mehmet's exactly right. Yeah. Good. So yeah, a tiny difference, like you put that definite article, that means you know what I'm talking about. And it's very clear that he means the Holocaust, which Mehmet was saying. Great. Yeah, and I think that's where we stopped. So that was Zeynep and Yildiray. Let's have, make sure there's no laughing in here. Oh, Joe's laughing. All right. Hurshit, you can be David. And
Okay.
And Bilal, you can be Joe.
Okay.
So Bilal, you start? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that is something that is pretty hard to forget.
Yeah, also, interestingly, the only person I met in Europe who was addicted was in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like so happy that I was into the dead when he met me, and I gave him one tape that I had.
Uh-huh.
And he was just ecstatic because they weren't able to get tapes like we were at that point.
Oh, so he was actually German,
Yeah,
and that's great.
because this was before computers.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, that played there in 81, and
Yeah, he knew about them. He knew what was up, but he was like,
Good. Okay, let's stop there. Okay, so back up to the top. Joe says, yeah, I'm sure that that's something that is pretty hard to forget. So again, what is the thing that is hard to forget? Maybe Birol. I'm sure that that is something that is pretty hard to forget.
In Germany, association about the Jewish people, I think.
Good, perfect, exactly. And these guys, they stutter a lot. They say many words, like I was going to like, you know, the thing with, you know, like all these things. But in this sentence, they need the word that in there 3 times. I'm sure that that's something that is pretty hard to forget. All 3 of them are correct. For this one time, they've done this correctly. We need all 3 of those. Good, I'm sure that. That is something that is pretty hard to forget. And then David says, yeah, although, you know, interestingly, the only person I met in Europe who was a deadhead was in Germany. Okay, what is a deadhead? Zainab.
Huh?
What is a deadhead?
Deadhead. It's deadhead. Yes. Oh, I don't know that either.
Not sure? Who
Deadhead.
knows? What's a deadhead? Hurshit.
It is connecting with the last topic. That is a funnier.
A fan?
There is a fan.
Yeah.
A fan.
Mhm.
A fan.
Yep.
Group of
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Yeah, in these conversations, they really like the Grateful Dead, I think. Good. So Joe says, "Oh, really?" And David says, "Yeah." And he was like so happy that I was into the Dead. So Zainab, what does he mean here? The Dead.
I think the group. He's talking about the group.
Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. The Grateful Dead. He shortened it to the Dead. Good.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a capital D, too, because it's a name. Okay. When he met me, and I gave him one tape that I had. So we say tape for the old cassette tapes that were around before CDs, and I think long before Zainab. Good. Zainab, have you ever listened to cassette tapes? The old, the rectangle ones?
Listened.
Sorry?
My grandfather has got that, but I never listened. I saw them, but not listened.
Yeah. They still had them when I was very little. I remember we would listen to music like that. But I'm almost too young for this too. I think most of.
How old are you, Jory?
I'm 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was very little, we had cassette tapes. We would play them in the car. I remember. But very, very little. Okay. Yeah. Joe laughs. Tapes. Yeah, and you can also call the movies, VCR movies. Those are tapes too, before DVDs. The big black ones that you could turn backwards with your finger, and you had to rewind them before you bring them back to the store. I remember that.
So VHS and Betamax, two different kind of cassettes.
Yeah. There was VHS. I don't think I ever
VHS and
saw.
Betamax. It was Sony's. Just only Sony was producing Betamax. It was smaller than VHS.
Right, and they didn't do very well, right? Betamax.
Yeah, VHS was more common. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I even saw Betamax. That's before my time too. But awesome, yeah. Okay, so that's what a tape can mean. One of those two things. And you see inside the cassettes and inside the VHS, there's that brown colored plasticky tape. So that's why we would call it a tape. Yeah. Okay. Joe laughs, and then David says, and he was just ecstatic. Ecstatic. I think Khurshid had this word, and you did really well with it. Yeah. Ecstatic. Because they weren't able to get tapes like we were at that point. So what does this mean, ecstatic? Who haven't I asked in a while? I think maybe Birol.
Ecstatic means, I think, very happy.
Very happy, exactly. Yeah, very, very happy. It's a very strong word for happy, exactly. So, Yildiray, who was ecstatic and why was he ecstatic? David says he was just ecstatic. Who is he in this sentence? Yildiray?
I have a connection problem. I
Okay.
didn't.
Okay. David says, and he was just ecstatic. That's where we are. Who is David
Yes.
talking about? Who is this he?
Gio. Deadhead group person.
Perfect.
One
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
one of the,
Good. The deadhead person is the one who was ecstatic. And why was he ecstatic?
because he gave him one of tape.
Good.
That's
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
actually
Good. He was very happy because David gave him this tape, and it was very difficult to get this tape in Germany at this time. That's what he's saying. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if they ever say what year this is. Maybe this was even before the Berlin Wall thing. Okay. And then Joe says, oh, so he was actually German. Why does Joe say this? So he was actually German. Like this is something surprising for Joe. Bilal, why does Joe say that?
Oh, he was actually German, yeah.
I'm not sure, but because they won't get able to take the tapes, or because they're fan of that, or like that. I'm not sure. Because he's a deadhead, or because of
Okay.
he weren't able to get tapes.
That was that's a really good idea, yeah. because he's a deadhead, it's surprising he's German. I think there's another reason that David says this. Does anyone want to take a guess?
I think Joe asking David. I think by this sentence, Joe asked to David, is he from German or is a German?
Good. Yeah, I kind of think this should have a question mark too, like her shit.
yeah.
To me, it seems a bit more like a question, like a tag question. Oh, he's really German. You know, is he? Yeah.
And after this sentence, David said, yeah.
Good. David answers it like it's a question. Yeah, that's a good point. Harshit.
Applying it.
Yeah, I think that part of the reason that that Joe is saying this is because of at the very start of the conversation, Joe was talking about the girl he knew in Prague, and David was talking about the girl he knew in Prague, and Joe says she was from Prague, and David says no, she was American. If you remember, this happened at the very start. And now this time that David is talking about someone else he met, he's like, oh, so this was actually a German person. This wasn't another traveler like your last story. He's just confirming that because last time it was the other way. Yeah. So I feel like exactly, he's talking about this person's a fan of the Grateful Dead and all these things are clues. But if the story hadn't been different the first time, he probably wouldn't have said it like this. This is kind of the clue why he's saying this, I think. Okay. David says, yeah. Joe says, that's great, because this was before computers. So before here is referring to time. I think that we all knew that. So yeah, this was in a time before computers. And Joe says, yeah, well, if you think about it, the Dead played there in 81. And okay, what is this? 81. Like apostrophe 81.
1981.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So the Grateful Dead had a concert in Germany in 1981, and David says, yeah, he knew about them. He knew what was up. So this is, I think, not super important for you guys to know. This is more like how younger people talk, quite a bit younger, I think, like 18 and 19-year-old kind of. He knew what was up. It means like he knows what's going on, or the things he knows about are the things I think are important. Okay, so David really likes the Grateful Dead, so he's like, yeah, he knows what's up. He knows what the important things are in life that are the things that match my opinion, really. He knows about the Grateful Dead. He knows what's up. Yeah. So don't focus too much on that one. You guys don't need to say that. But he was like, you know, Joe says, yeah. Okay. And let's start reading again. Who did I have? I had Harshit and Bilal, so it must be Mehmet and Birol now. So Birol, you can be David, and Mehmet, you can be Joe. And we'll start with Birol. I could use some music.
I could use some music, and he had that shirt on. He showed me. It was funny.
Wait, he was actually wearing a Grateful Dead shirt when you met him?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's great.
It was like underneath a sweatshirt. He was like, no, really. He pulls over. He lifted up the sweatshirt. He was like, look, it was like an old tie dye.
Were you wearing one also?
No,
Oh, so how did he know?
I just started talking about it, and I had bootlegs with me. Finish.
Okay. There should be, oh, that's great. And then that's the end of the whole thing, I think. Okay. Joe says, yeah. David says, I could use some music. We started here, but this was a cutoff. Joe starts this, but he was like, I could use some music. So tying into the thing David said before, this man he met in Germany said to him, he was like means he said, music. I would like to listen to some music, right? You can say this, I could use for I would like. I could use some tea right now. I would like some tea. Okay, so I would like to listen to music, and he had a Dead shirt on. Again, capital D, Grateful Dead. So a shirt for the Grateful Dead. He showed me. It was funny. Joe, wait. He was actually wearing a Grateful Dead shirt when you met him. Yeah. Really want to talk about the Grateful Dead? David, Joe, that's great. David, it was like underneath a sweatshirt. He was like, no, really? He pulls over. He lifts up the sweatshirt. He was like, look, it was an old tie-dye. Good. So David says it was like underneath the sweatshirt. He was like, no, really? He pulls over. He lifts up the sweatshirt. What does this mean here? He pulls over. How about Bilal?
Also, yeah, just I think it was the underneath sweatshirt. He has underneath sweatshirt, and just like a pullover. Yeah, just not for wearing something. Just just to show something. Yeah, just to pull over on you, or like wearing something. I think about the wearing something. Just you put your head in and then pull over on your body or like that. That's it.
Okay, so he pulled over the sweatshirt. This
Yeah,
is what David's
exactly.
talking. Oh, okay. That's a good guess, but it's not right. How about Biral? Do you know? This one is tricky. Bilal, this is a tricky question. Difficult.
So I don't understand.
No? Okay, no problem. Mehmet, do you want to try?
He pulls over. So there's a t-shirt under your sweatshirt. This when you lift the sweatshirt, then underneath you can see the t-shirt. Is it something like that?
Nope.
Okay, so I don't know.
It's not even to do with the shirts. This was a trick, and I think that I've tricked everyone, unless somebody wants to try. He pulls over. Zainab?
No. I don't know
No?
either.
Yildiray?
No.
No. Hurshit?
I don't
You don't know.
anything.
Okay, I got you guys. All right. This one is hitchhiking conversation. And we know that David was hitchhiking when he met this German man. It's true? So, what do you think this German man was doing while they're talking? Any
Driving.
guess? Driving, yes.
Uh,
Mehmet, do you mean
So?
driving? Yeah, pull over. I'm driving and I move my car to the side and I stop.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. So he wanted to stop his car so
Oh,
he could
okay,
take
okay,
off
okay,
his
okay,
sweatshirt.
okay. Pull over, okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's actually a tricky
I don't-
one, right?
Jury, I don't understand.
Okay.
He pulls the car over.
Yeah, the German man is driving and he wants
Yeah.
to show his shirt. So he stops the car. He puts the
Yeah.
car on the side of the road and stops. That's called pulling over. He pulls the car over off of the road, stops the car so he can take off his sweater and show his shirt. So he takes his car to the side and he stops it so it's off the road. That's what pulls over means. Yeah. So that one was kind of tricky. You can actually call a sweater a pullover. Pullover together can be a noun that is like a sweatshirt. So yeah, of course it doesn't have any buttons or a zipper. You have to pull it over your head. You can say a pullover. So yeah, this one was a tricky one, guys, I think, because it sounds like it's about the clothes and nobody thought about the car. Good, yeah, but that's what he means. He wanted to stop the car to show his shirt. He was like, look, it was an old tie-dye. Okay, does anyone know what a tie-dye is?
Is it like an accessory or something like that?
Tie-dye is an adjective.
T-shirt.
Oh.
T-shirt. Maybe.
Bilal, is that you? Oh, Birol. Yeah, Birol, what did you want to say?
no, I don't say anything.
Oh, sorry, not Birol. Who was talking? Was that Bilal?
I think T-shirt.
Oh, Yildiray. Okay, that was Yildiray. Sorry, I found it. Yildiray, go ahead.
I think T-shirt. Different color. Maybe it's made of.
Good, yeah, it's a very colorful T-shirt. Yildiray is right. We mentioned hippies before. I think everybody knows what hippies are. And the hippies would always have those very colorful shirts with different colors in rings on the middle. You guys know the kind I mean? They would go in rings. This one's blue, this one's red. But they weren't nice ones. They were many different colors all mixed together. Okay, these shirts are called tie-dye. And dye is something you use to make clothes different colors. If I want to make my clothes red, I can put them in red dye. Okay? We also say dye for your hair. I want to change the color of my hair, I dye my hair. So that liquid I put in my hair to change the color, that's called dye. So the way they make these shirts is they would, okay, I got this here. I would take part of the shirt and I would tie a string like this. And then I would dip this in the dye. So now this part is yellow. And then I would tie this part of the shirt and I would dip this in the dye. Now this part is red. So I tie the rope and I dye the shirt. And then I tie the next rope and I dye the shirt. So tie-dye is tie and dye mixed together.
Yes.
That's why it's called a tie-dye shirt. Okay. And then Joe says, were you wearing one also? David says no. Oh, so how did he know? I just started talking about it and I had bootlegs with me. Oh, that's great. The end. Okay. What are bootlegs? Who wants to guess on this one? Bootlegs. Any volunteers? Bilal, do you want to try?
No.
No?
It's difficult.
Difficult, yeah. Bilal?
No, I don't know.
mm,
There isn't in the dictionary.
Oh, you're in the dictionary now? Zainab, do you want to try?
No, I don't know either.
Okay.
Bootleg.
Mehmet?
I can only guess, is it about being fortunate?
No.
No.
No. Okay. I'll tell you
It
guys.
can be
Is
cassette.
Yildiray?
It can be cassette, old-fashioned, maybe.
Good. Yeah, he's talking about the cassettes.
Cassette.
Yildiray is right. Yeah. They're basically illegal. So it's,
Hmm.
yeah. Like I could have a bootleg DVD or a bootleg cassette. So like for the DVDs, they're very common, I think, today. I go in the movie theater with my video camera and I record the movie and then I put that on the DVD. That's like a bootleg DVD. Or if somehow I get that DVD in a different way, illegally, that's a bootleg, right? So yeah, it means I made it illegally somehow, which is very easy now with computers. People can easily
Yeah.
bootleg everything. He said in
Pilot
this,
shootings.
yeah, exactly. He said in this story that this was before computers. So the way they did it in this story is they actually had to use a recording device in a concert. So he went into the concert and he recorded the music and he made a cassette tape with that, because he can't just take it off of the internet so easy anymore. Good. So that's what a bootleg means. There's actually one other meaning of bootleg that is different. I don't think this is.
The dictionary says smuggling. Yeah. Is it something like that?
Bootlegging. Yeah. I think that's like a very old meaning for smuggling. But yeah, I think you're right. They were bootlegging. And I think they said this, I don't know if you know what the prohibition is, but it was a time in the United States in the 1950s, I think, when alcohol was illegal.
Yeah.
So you hear about Al Capone. This man, Al Capone, was famous. But yeah, for some time, alcohol was illegal in the United States. So they would go into Canada and take the alcohol. And I think those guys were called bootleggers. That was bootlegging. They were sneaking alcohol into the United States from Canada. But yeah, today we call it bootlegging if someone is, okay, what is it? In Turkey, you need to be 18 to buy alcohol. This is true? 18?
Yeah, 18.
Good. So if Zeynep says to Mehmet, can you go in the store and buy alcohol and give it to me? Then Mehmet is bootlegging. That's the other word, the other way we use this word today. If you are buying, I think it's alcohol is the only thing, maybe tobacco too, for someone who can't legally buy it, who's too young, then you're bootlegging. That's the only other meaning. So yeah, the meanings are all a little bit different, but it's illegal. If you see bootlegging, you know it's probably something illegal. And yeah, then Joe says, "Oh, that's great," and we're done the conversation. So, are there any questions about anything we talked about here? Anything you'd like to hear again? No. We're all good. Okay. Let's see. What were we talking about? Safety concerns. Yeah. When my my speaker stopped working and I got cut off, I was explaining safety concerns. Yeah. So it's something that you think could be a safety problem in the future. So maybe I see the the electrical wire, the cord is coming out of the wall, and I say, oh, we should put tape on this, or we should cut it here. This is a safety concern. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the way Hurshid explained it was basically correct. Anything that makes you worried about your safety. We usually just don't use it for like, this tiger in my house is a safety concern. It's more something you use for big companies, like an industrial kind of a meaning more. So you take safety measures when you have safety concerns. This is kind of more business English, a little bit. But absolutely, the way Hurshid described it is the exact meaning of the word. So I was just trying to clarify that, and then I couldn't. So that's the only thing we missed. Other than that, I think it's time for today. So unless anybody has questions or final remarks, I will say good night to you guys.
Okay.
Okay, good night.
Night.
Good evening.
Good night, and see you Wednesday.
Night.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Okay.
Good night. See you.
See you later.